One of the misconceptions about New Yorkers is that they're mean.
Tell us.
And
How is that a misconception?
New Yorkers are kind.
They're not nice,
They're
but
not
they're
nice.
kind.
If you need help, they'll help you.
Yeah.
But also, don't talk to me.
And also
mind you,
walk fast.
Just keep walking. If you follow those rules,
You'll be
I
fine.
promise you'll be fine.
I hope you took note. A lot of racism and preconceived notions about Africa. If you're from anywhere else, or if you grew up in France or in New York, it's more glamorous.
The more representation there was over time, the better it got. Don't get me started on Black Panther. You know what?
What?
One better. Right before Black Panther, the Shikis.
Yes. No, they were all the rage. Yes.
Honestly,
Yeah.
I will put it all on the Shikis.
Yeah. That's what jump-started it.
City Spotlight.
Welcome to a new episode of Diaspora Spotlight, the community that unites all of the African diaspora and every Afro-descendant. I'm very excited to present our guest today, who is a part of our I Am Not the Only One series that spotlights trailblazing young people. And today I have Aicha joining me. She's a dear friend of mine, but I'll let her do her intro.
Yes, of course. First off, thank you all for having me. Thank you, Sinebi, for the invitation.
Of course.
Well, my name is Aicha Coulibaly. I'm 24. What are you looking for my intro?
Yes. Would you tell us your background? So both in terms of where you grew up, where you're from, and then what you studied, because fun fact, we met in college in Boston, and we could tell the story later of how we met. It was so random, but yes, your background and what you do.
Yeah, of course. So, I'm Aicha. I was born and raised in France, in Paris, in the 18th district, because you always have to represent, I guess, until like 13, I think, about 13. Then I moved to New York. I did middle school, high school in New York, and then was set off to Boston, where I met Sinebi. And I majored in journalism.
And now you've graduated.
Yes, I have. Thank God.
Thank God. No, really, thank God. Like in the good sense, but also it was time.
I have graduated. And even that's like mixed feelings, because it's like post-grad, it's something.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
But I'm happy I don't have any more deadlines.
Gosh,
Even
yes.
though the job I chose is all about deadline.
Yeah.
But
You were making fun of me when I did my master's. Like, what? You still have exams? You still have classes? Couldn't relate.
I couldn't relate. And life was great. I'll tell you, I was sleeping good.
Good.
I had full nights of sleep.
I missed that. So wow, from Senegalese descent, but grew up and born in France, and then moved to New York, of all places. How was that for you in terms of having that Senegalese, French, and American background, all the worlds at once? What was the hardest thing, but what was also the coolest thing for you?
So at home, I felt more of the Senegalese background. My grandparents, because I grew up with my grandparents when I was in France. My grandparents would speak to me mostly in Wolof. Any traditions and like events, most of the stuff that were with my family were rooted in our Senegalese culture. And then outside, that's when I got to experience more of the French culture. You just have to balance things. You take a little bit of each culture and you kind of do a mix of that, and whatever works for you works for you.
Yeah.
I think the worst thing is finding that balance, because there's clashing views on both cultures.
Yeah.
And so you have to find the right balance so that everything meshes well. Whether you're outside or inside, like at home, there's always going to be a little bit of friction between the two cultures, because they're really different.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're so different. And yeah, finding that balance was the hardest for me. The best thing is what I was talking about earlier.
Yeah.
The fact that you can literally pick and choose a little bit of both cultures. And then later on, the American culture was added to. Oh, that's a lot.
Just thinking about it, you're like,
Yes, but then you just pick and choose.
Yeah.
It's like a sandwich. You add in the
Add
ingredients you want and make it your own.
yeah, you do. That's true.
That's fun.
It's fun.
But you kind of had the same thing.
Yeah, that's true.
Did you? What was the hardest thing for you?
Yeah, that's true. So I guess that's the part that kind of linked us when we first met in Warren Towers. So I was born in the U.S. but raised in France and Ivorian, so speaking French also at home. And I think that the hardest part for me was finding people who I could relate to, like you. Like, I feel like we have similar backgrounds because we have that melting pot of cultures, and we are able to switch our brains off and on from French to English, and then sometimes. So that can be hard because people don't understand why you're not as fluent as them in some ways, but like you're thinking in multiple languages. So like you have grace, but also the cool parts are like getting the references and being like, oh, I'm from the 18th or the 15th, and not being faced by even things like Emily in Paris, or like being like, oh yeah, I grew up in that. And people are like, what? That's super cool. And also you have that New York, growing up there. That's a really cool city to grow up in. So I feel like it's a lot of cool experiences that you get to melt all together. Yeah. How was New York though for you? Because I feel like kids can be rough. What's the biggest misconception there was about being
in New York?
and
Okay, when I first got there, everything was a little new. Everything was different to me. So it was kind of hard trying to adapt at first because it was so new and so drastic the change for me that I didn't even want to like put effort in adapting. But then I was like, you're kind of stuck here. You're going to have to adapt.
Yeah.
So that's when, with the help of multiple like teachers that I've had, then the environment you're in has a lot of impact.
Yeah.
I think if I hadn't switched from the first middle school I was in to the next one and then go to the high school I went to, my experience probably would have been different. But I got lucky, personally. High school was great. I loved high school.
High school.
Middle school was shaky, but it was my first 2 years in America, so I was still trying to find my footing. High school, I had so much fun. I don't know how everyone else in my class feels about it. This is how I feel. It was great. There was a little things that
always drama.
Yeah, there's always things that aren't great.
Yeah.
But overall, I got lucky because I moved from one city to another, from one big city to another big city.
Yeah,
And it
Paris
was-
to New York is like,
it was a little similar in that aspect because they're both melting pot.
right.
So I went to a school in Harlem, and most of the students looked like me. So it wasn't a big difference because it was the same thing when I was in Paris. Most of the students looked like me, similar background. In terms of academics, I think I was fine. I was still doing the same as I was doing in Paris. I was
You
doing
don't feel
pretty
like
well.
the level was harder in France or in the US?
Not really. I felt it in middle school. I felt like in middle school, when I got to middle school in America, I felt like I was a little behind. I felt like what they were teaching us was a little behind.
Okay, compared to what you were seeing it,
Yeah, I was confused because some of the things that they didn't know, I already knew.
Right.
But like maybe 2 years prior.
Wow.
So I was kind of confused about that. Hence why I said earlier, I'm glad I moved out of that school.
Yeah.
Because once I got to the next school, that's when I felt like it was more up to par.
Yeah.
And it was great for me, honestly. A lot of the times when I went and presented myself, I think there's a different perspective when I come in and I say, oh, I moved from France to, hey, I'm African. I've seen the difference because, like, for example, I know there was a student for the longest. I have not spoken to him, not really. We had a lot of like mutual friends. His vibe and mine didn't really mesh. So I didn't care to get to know him more. But I know that one day he found out that I moved from France. And he was like, wait, you moved here from France? And I was like, yeah. He's like, where in France? I'm like, Paris. He's like, oh my God, I thought you came from Africa. I was like, and in my head, I'm like, oh, so what's the difference?
What's the difference?
And I was like, oh, no, I came from France, but I am African. I was like, yes, but I thought you moved here like from Africa.
The way you're saying it.
Sorry, it's the way he said it.
He said it. Okay. Wow. He
Like,
meant it kind of derogatory. I'm
and I was
sensing.
like, oh, but yeah, he was like, oh, okay, we should talk a little bit more. Da, da, da. And I was like, yeah, but then I never was friends with him. Already that conversation put me off.
Yeah.
Because it also goes to show how much the propaganda about Africa was rooted into people.
Yeah.
And at a very young age.
Yeah.
He thought The image that he had of me because I was African pushed him to not really want to get to know me.
Yeah.
But once he learned that I was from France, his whole perspective changed. I think that's problematic. And I think that's one of the misconceptions.
Misconceptions?
It's one of the misconceptions.
Have grace. I don't know, because it's a lot of syllables.
But I
Conception.
know the word.
You do.
But yeah, I think that was one of them, one of the biggest one. And I didn't experience the whole African booty scratcher period of time.
Yeah.
Really, I didn't really have that issue.
Yeah.
But I did hear from friends when I was there that were Black, even like Black Americans that were dark skinned. There was especially this one Black American. I think she was Caribbean actually, and she was really dark skinned. And she used to be made fun of and called African booty scratcher and all of that because they thought she was African because of how dark her skin was. And they would make fun of her skin and her hair and all of that. So I've heard stories. So I knew that was a possibility. New Yorkers are kind.
They're kind. They're not nice.
They're not nice, but they're kind. And if you need help, they'll help you.
Yeah.
But also, don't talk to me.
And also, walk fast.
Walk. Just keep walking. And if you need to stop, go to the side.
Yeah.
Go in the corner.
Yeah.
Out of the way.
I've heard that. No, Aicha walks fast. She's a real New Yorker.
So, if you follow those rules,
I
promise you'll be fine.
Okay. I hope you took notes. That was at least 3. Okay.
Not nice.
That's a lot. And that example of the Caribbean student that you mentioned, it has a lot. It's like colorism, a lot of racism and preconceived notions about Africa. If you're from anywhere else or if you grew up in France or in New York, it's more glamorous, which is, it's a view that's messed up and that's maybe starting to change, but
But now Africans are a trend, you know.
Yeah.
We're liked now.
What made it so? What do you think factors?
I think it's a cycle anyways. In a few years, we won't be liked again.
Yeah.
And then we'll be liked again.
Culture is
what made it this way? I think art has a lot of impact.
Yeah.
Especially with the rise of Afrobeats.
Yeah.
I think that was one of the biggest things that did it. But also art in the model industry.
Mm-hmm.
A lot more Black women were being put to the front.
Yeah.
I think the more representation there was over time, the better it got. Yeah. And don't get me started on Black Panther. My God.
That was, everybody was like,
you know what? One better. Right before Black Panther.
What was it?
The Shikis.
Yes. No, they were all the rage. Yes.
Honestly.
Yeah.
I will put it all on the Shikis.
Yeah. That's what jump-started it. The Shikis did it. Oh, man. I forgot about that.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. That's true, yeah. No, I forgot.
That was such an era. My God.
Was that 2007, 16?
I think so.
Yeah. And then some African countries played off of that, and that's something that I discovered more about in my master's thesis of Ghana using 2400-year mark of the end of slavery as a way to call back every Afro-descendant to come home, and specifically to Ghana, but no, just come back to Africa. So that kind of shifted the perspective, maybe opened the gates a little bit even more for everyone from the diaspora to come and interact with Africa and vice versa. But
I will say also another thing that helped is social media.
Social media.
Because before that, there was only a small amount of group that controlled the narrative.
Yeah.
The media. And so when most of what's being portrayed of Africa
that's famine, deserts, war, and poverty. I think those were
literally.
Yeah.
Then that's the view that they're going to have.
Yeah.
But with social media, you have a lot more people that are showing another side of Africa, but not just Africa, saying that Africa is not a country. Right. There's so many different countries in the continent. And each country has its own identity and culture.
Yeah.
There are similar things, of course, but if I was to look at the culture from Gambia and South Africa, completely different. Yeah. So I think also social media did help with that.
Yeah, social media helped. You see the positive aspects of it. Do you see any downfalls of social media, the portrayal of Africa? Has it ever been?
I think there's always going to be pros and cons, and there's always going to be a downside to social media. I think it comes down to how you use it.
Yeah.
And I know that a lot of people are thinking, yes, but these people are putting out this narrative on social media. These people are making this type of content that shouldn't be allowed, or that's not right. But you also have to take responsibility and accountability.
Yeah.
What do you watch? You have to take actions, because I see also a lot of people saying, "Oh, I don't see an influencer or someone that creates content that talks about this or does this." There's literally everything on the internet. The internet is a vast place.
Yeah.
There's always a creator for you. I think that sometimes people are not looking for them.
Yeah.
They're waiting for them to come to you. They can't do that. There's only so much a creator can do. You also have to look for them. So if you're scrolling and your For You page is a lot of propaganda and derogatory content about a place or people, maybe look at yourself a little bit. I'm not trying to come for anyone. I'm not saying that.
I should have added a trigger warning, because Aicha will tell the truth. Okay? Okay, be ready. That's good. No, that's good.
No, there's definitely really bad content on there,
but the algorithm,
that should be regulated. Yes.
But the algorithm replicates what we like and what we want to watch. So
I think it's both sides have to work on it.
yeah.
Yes, there should be some regulations,
Yeah.
but take accountability for what you watch
Yeah.
and the content you consume.
It's perfect. It makes us go right into the next segment, which is about another part of your identity, which is who you are. You're a storyteller, but you also like majored in journalism, and you're a content creator. And you're a journalist. Like, I know you as a journalist. So what made you choose not just journalism, but like storytelling, content creation as the way that you want to express yourself and add to the world?
I think I didn't realize it at the time, but when I was 13, I had my first experience in a media setting with my school. They had like a partnership with a journalism outlet. They got to choose 2 students to go and do an interview for a French radio. It was France Info.
France Info,
Yeah.
that's huge.
And we just asked a little bit of questions. It was, I think, 5 of us, 5 kids.
Yeah.
And 4 or 5. And we were asking questions to the mayor candidates, I believe. Yeah. And one of the mayor candidates at the end came to me and she was like, "I really see you in this." And I said, "Oh, really?" And she's like, yes, I really see you in this. You should pursue it." And I was like, "Oh, I will, thank you." But in my mind, I was like, no, I don't know what she's talking about.
What were you thinking of going into
Journalism
before?
is not what I'm doing.
You were not into journalism
at all.
What were you going to do?
I thought I would be a lawyer. And yeah, I think that's what I thought I would be.
It's adjacent to what you're doing now, though.
Kinda,
Okay.
guess.
And so years later, how did you get back to journalism?
I got back to it because I feel like that experience kept coming back in my head at some point, especially in high school.
Mm-hmm.
And one day, I don't know what triggered it.
Yeah.
But one day I woke up and I was like, Dad, I'm going to be a journalist.
What?
He was like, okay. Because every 2 days I want to be something.
Something else.
So he was just like, okay, this is just another thing, I guess. But no, I was serious. Ever since that day, I've said it and I've never changed my mind. And I'm glad that I went into college knowing what I wanted. And I'm even more glad that once I experienced journalism through college, it confirmed my will to become a journalist. We don't all get lucky that way.
Yeah.
So I do acknowledge that I was lucky,
Yeah.
that I found what I wanted to do, and it really is what I love to do.
What you love to do, what you're talented in, and the big way that like you are able to make a change in the world. That's super cool. So
We hope so.
yeah, it's already happening. What was your favorite journalism project that you've worked on so far? It could have been in college or after.
My favorite one isn't done yet. It's something I'm working on currently, and it has to do a lot with my roots. And I just feel like it's a story that doesn't get told enough, or doesn't really get told at all. There's in our culture, there are a lot of topics that are taboo, and it's complicated trying to talk about those topics, especially in a patriarchal society. I'm sorry, I love you, Senegal, but that's the truth. And yeah, I think that's one of my favorite story that I'm working on. I've never not worked on a story that I wasn't interested
Wow, man.
in. So like I really like every project I've worked on.
Yeah, I love that. It brings me to two places. Like, I want to know more about your roots and also more on journalism and social media. So I'll start with the social media one. We're in the age of like social media, we talked about it, content creation, but also AI. How do you see that journalism or like things that you do, real stories by real people, are going to evolve with the rise of AI?
That's a loaded question.
Loaded.
I don't have all the answers.
No.
I'm still trying to find some answers. AI can be very helpful, yes, but it's hard. There's so much, and people consume so much content
Yeah.
on a daily basis to the point where, like, people, when they're on social media, they don't want to think. They don't want to have to do research. They want everything to be there and for them to just scroll. Oh, this happened? Okay, moving on. Not realizing that also there are things that are just fake.
Yeah.
Not everything is actual news.
Yeah.
And you have to be careful where you get your news from. But even sometimes from some reputable news outlet, it's not always
It's not
the
always
truth
real.
being
Yeah.
displayed. And there is a very big news outlet, for example, in America, that ran a story, but it was AI. It was based on AI videos. That's scary because people are finding it harder and harder to differentiate the truth and what's AI. Yes, there's still some little details that help people know that it's a AI generated image or video,
Yeah.
but it's getting good, guys. It's getting good. Sometimes I'm a little tripped up. My dad sends me videos and he's like, so is this AI or not? I'm like,
Hard to
hold on.
say.
Let me zoom in. I think this is AI. Yes, this is AI.
Right.
Like,
99%. Yeah.
And even he looks at me, he was like, you think?
Yeah.
Hold on.
Right.
If you don't know and you're not sure, how am I going to know? And that's how misinformation just gets spread so easily. And it's so hard to try and contain that because anyone can just post on the social media. Everyone is a creator now.
Yeah.
Not everyone, unfortunately, has the same etiquette and the same sense of morals and dedication to fact check.
But you said also AI can be a tool. How do you use it? Like, or how would you want to use it to help you in the future?
To help me, sometimes AI helps me organize my thoughts. I can go back and forth and it helps me organize because there's so much going on in my head. So much. Sometimes I can't keep up with my brain.
Right.
So I like to just put it all out there and then it helps me organize whatever I'm thinking of. And it brings me clarity and it makes me more efficient. And it's faster. So it helps you also work faster sometimes. But you have to be careful and not rely on this because what if you don't have access to that? You need to do the work yourself. And so you always have to keep sharpening your skills and make sure that you don't solely rely on that. But it can be helpful.
It can be helpful. Okay, that's good to have that balanced perspective. We'll have a little segment of quick fire questions. So we talked about France, US, Senegal. I have to ask you this. Everybody asks me this question when they know, oh, you grew up in France? Like, okay, but you went to school in the US? What's your favorite? I'm not going to ask you which one is your favorite because that's not, there's no real answer to that. But what do you like about each specific place that you grew up in?
Okay, that's
one thing. Yeah.
the easier question.
Yeah.
What I like about America, I would say, is the open-mindedness. Although lately it's kind of hard to see that. But in general, I like that they're very open-minded. There's a lot of opportunities there, at least professional opportunities. I know it doesn't seem like it for people that are born and raised there because they're asking for more and they should. They deserve it and we deserve it. But when I compare to France, for example, or even Senegal, there is a lot more opportunities there. So I like that. I like that you have more of a chance, I think. Even as a Black person, I'm Black and I'm a woman.
Yeah.
Oh, and I'm Muslim. Let the French hear that.
No, because we need to talk about that too. Okay.
So it's a little bit more open for me, and I have more of a chance of succeeding there than I have here, professionally speaking. However, I also like in France, I like
Oh, this is quick fire, and now she's gonna
I don't know. Wait, what do I like about France?
the begin.
The food. Okay. The food is better. The pastry, oh my God. Way better.
What's your favorite pastry? French pastry.
It's a tart.
Which-
It's between tarte aux pommes
Mm.
or tarte à la fraise. I love tarts.
Yeah.
What's your favorite?
My favorite pastry, either a good croissant au beurre,
Mm-hmm.
like classic, but also pain au raisin.
Really? Okay, I love pain au raisin, but most people
Don't like
wouldn't
I know.
choose that as their favorite.
It's as I grew up, my palate got more refined, and now I
Okay.
can appreciate
Yes.
a good, like a mix. Raisin, I love it.
I like that.
Yeah.
So yes, it's also in terms of like healthcare.
Social welfare, anything, just life.
Yes. And then Senegal, I love the weather. I love the food. I love the people. The people are more
Lively.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the overall vibe of the country is just more vibrant. But
Mm.
also I guess the weather helps.
Yeah, people are not cranky and depressed all
Yeah.
year. I don't know.
That helps.
Yeah.
So I'll say that.
Yeah.
But it's some good in everything.
Yeah.
And there's always downside.
Every single like, comment, repost, and follow gives us more strength to have more inspiring guests. So don't hesitate to comment below and tell us who you'd like to see in the next video.
Right. So, quick fire. There's going to be some short questions and some longer form questions.
Yeah.
Whatever comes to mind, you just say that, okay?
Not so quick then. Sorry.
Not so quick. This is easy. Chibujen or Jollof?
Chibujen.
Car, beach, sunset, or New York skyline in the summertime?
Dakar.
French humor or American humor?
Ooh, American.
Senegalese music or American music in general?
Okay, then I listen to more American music,
Okay.
I think.
Favorite American
But
artist?
I'm just gonna say Beyonce.
I knew you were gonna
Okay.
say that. Okay,
Yeah.
favorite Afrobeats artist?
Favorite Ira Star.
Okay. Hollywood drama or HBO drama?
I don't watch I mean, I've seen some Nollywood,
Okay.
but I wasn't the one watching it.
Okay, Senegalese drama or
Senegalese drama.
not
Okay.
even or okay. A cafe terrace in Paris or brunch in Brooklyn?
Embarrassed.
Paris. Poulet yassa or mac and cheese?
No. Yes, sir?
Okay. French rap or US rap? Hip hop.
I listen to more French rap, actually. I should have said UK.
Oh.
You just completely dismissed my favorite artist ever, but it's
I
okay.
know. I'm gonna get to it.
She knows me, guys.
Oh,
She
yeah, I
knows-
do. What? Okay, we can get to it now. Favorite international artist?
Dave, Santan Dave. And if you haven't still, which is crazy, the boy who played the harp is still out.
What soundtrack? What 3 artists would be on it?
Whoa. This is hard.
That's hard. Whatever artists come to mind or songs that could.
Beyonce. Dave, actually. And I'll say the last one would be, in terms of like self-expression, Mia Gisi.
Mm.
She's a Senegalese artist.
Okay, I love that. And
No, Amadus.
I'm not this good. What's the question you want to ask me?
I have one question.
Go ahead.
It is important. The AFCON final is coming up. Who you're supporting, Senegal or Morocco?
I can't answer. Okay, I.
Oh, you're
In front of a Senegalese.
You're
she wants
taking a long time to
both
answer.
Moroccan and Senegalese friends. How am I gonna choose? I will say
Huh.
Senegal Rek is my answer, and I'll be happy whoever wins. 'Cause it's Africa. Unity. Yes.
Anyway, Senegal Rek is who I'm supporting,
Yes.
and this is who we're supporting.
Oh,
Yeah.
Morocco always. Senegal Rek. We'll see how it happens.
I actually love Moroccans.
Oh, and I heard they love Senegalese people. That's the favorite.
The two countries, I can't explain it. It's interesting,
Yeah.
I guess. But there is a
There's a
historical explanation.
Hmm.
But yeah,
Yeah,
les deux peuples s'aiment.
get it.
At the end of the day, may the best win.
May the best win.
So Senegal will win.
She said, you heard it here first.
Oh my God, if they don't, this is bad.
We'll see. It's really soon. We'll see.
But it shows that I believe in my team.
You do. You believe in your team. You have faith in your team. We're sending those vibes to them right now. Yeah. This is a show all about spotlighting people, right? One person or thing that you don't think is getting enough recognition.
I think what I like to spotlight, and it has to do with what I do as a journalist, is amplifying voices. Amplifying voices and stories that don't get to be either told or do not get a lot of attention. And I think that's one of the most important things for me.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm trying to do through my storytelling and through my work. That's what I want to spotlight.
Amplifying voices.
Yes.
I love that. Thank you so much. Wait, is there a voice that you want to amplify right now or anywhere that we can find you and stay in touch?
Because it's not out yet, I'm not going to speak too much about it. But if you're interested in, my social medias are Aicha Lee, Aicha_Lee. And for more of the projects that I'm going to work on, everything is going to be there. So to see that project, it will be communicated on Aicha Lee on Instagram.
Period. Go follow. Yeah. Okay. I like to do 3 words that the audience should leave with after this really beautiful interview.
I should have read my dictionary.
No. It could be in French or even in Wolof.
Okay.
3 words for you, audience.
Curiosity, confidence, and faith.
Curiosity, confidence, faith. I love those words. Thank you so much, Aicha_Lee, for your time. So that they know, follow this amazing human being. Thank you for watching. And we'll see you on another episode. Bye.
City Spotlight.